Welcome back to the Wizard Weekly, where we talk about everything in gaming. So for the past 10 videos of mine, I've been talking about every major development in the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors and leaks that come to light, just maxing out my mentally unstable Reddit Twitter user badges. But in these last 3 days, dude, Nintendo, they have just been getting comboed left and right with the leaks like a freaking Smash Bros. Tournament player, because we basically know what the Nintendo Switch 2 is right now ahead of its, obvious, end of fiscal year of March 2025, obviously, show off. And it's got to the point where apparently Nintendo's even responded to all these and just virtually waved the right flag, but we'll get to that in a second. So first of all, let's go over these last 3 days of rumors and leaks that we've got. 𝐂𝐃𝐒, which is a gaming journalist we've talked about before, she apparently got a photo sent to her of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, the obvious, mainstay of the Nintendo Switch that, connects your device to the television, your gateway to seeing subpar graphics on a bigger screen. But apparently this Nintendo Switch 2 dock here, it has a 20-volt input and a 15-volt output. She also knows that the Nintendo Switch 2 ships with a 60-watt charger for use with the dock. And that just shows the obvious upgrade in power usage for the Nintendo Switch 2, because the current Switch dock charger goes up to 39 watts, at least the standard edition that, that comes with all the Switches. So that going from 39 to 60 shows that, the leaks that we have of this being at like a PS4 level Xbox Series console just in handheld mode is going to be, pretty legitimate. And I mean, the dock itself, we don't really have much to go off of right here. I mean, we got like the little grill here. I'm guessing this is the part that attaches, like, when you take the little case off. I don't know, we can't see any ports, we can't see any logos, all the FCC shit and whatever it's called, the copyright stuff, all that's been blurred out in this photograph. So hopefully this is close to what we have. And then the big whammy that hit yesterday, to which Nintendo had to step in after the fact, after this hit the internet, because it just exploded. And it's really our best look at the Nintendo Switch 2 over at the Consumer Electronics Show that went on for January 7th to the 10th. Apparently in like a backstage area, I guess like exclusive place, video game accessories manufacturer 𝐄𝐃𝐒, they made a 3D print model of what we know right now on the Switch 2. We have our best look at this this freaking console. Now don't let these little door cartridge things here fool you. That's just to hold the Joy-Cons, because obviously we know that the new Joy-Cons are going to be magnetic, so this is going to like a simulation of how it will work, how easy you could just port it into it, but obviously you got to push the button to port it out. 8-inch screen, really tiny bezels, similar to the OLED model. Still an unnamed, unknown button that's going to be on the right Joy-Con that we still don't know what that's going to be yet. And like you see in the background here, there's a mock-up of the new ports to where you can put the 2 Joy-Cons in and hold them as a controller. They even did a 3D print of that, so we have a good look at how that's going to look. And like I said, the shit hit the fan so bad that Nintendo, they made an official statement to Japanese gaming outlet 𝐂𝐋𝐈𝐄𝐄, and their official quote, according to them, is that the images and videos are not official. All you see is words right now, but you can physically see them waving the right flag. It's just crazy. Thinking about the last 10 videos I've done, deep diving into all the new leaks we've got for the Nintendo Switch 2, knowing what the console is before we even get an official reveal, it just shows the age that we're in, where there's just no such thing as secrecy in gaming nowadays. Obviously we got this situation right here, but just think about other situations like Insomniac's big leak, to where we have a whole build of the new Wolverine game out before that got officially released. Grand Theft Auto being hacked from a freaking fire stick in a hotel room. Obviously back in the day, with the Nintendo NX, whatever the Wii was called, I forget the name of that, but we had leaks then, but obviously nothing as prevalent as it is now, to where we basically have everything. So I just thought that was fun. I've been seeing the sentiment online that people are just sad that we don't have an age where you can be excited for games no more, since these leaks are pretty much shoved in everyone's faces. Me personally, I don't mind. All of this is really interesting to me, which is why I talk about it so much. So I don't mind being spoiled ahead of time to what the hell we're going to be getting at gaming next. But for those that want that secrecy like they did as a kid, maybe waiting for the Wii to come out, those days are long gone if you're on the internet. And I almost forgot, apparently even the Nintendo Switch 2 logo got leaked as well, which is these 2 images right here. Nintendo can't have shit anymore. And moving on, along with Sony announcing at CES that The Last of Us TV show is getting its season 2 coming out soon, we also finally got a release date for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, coming to PC and obviously, PlayStation consoles. But apparently, that SpongeBob meme where the blue dude is like, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? That shit is happening once again, because apparently along with obviously going to be a steep price tag of 50 bones for a game most of us have already played before. The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster coming out April 3rd requires a third-party account being PlayStation Network. Now, again, if you remember earlier last year, PlayStation faced a lot of controversy because they made a lot of their games require a PSN, most notably Helldivers 2, which was a game that at first did not require it, but then, you know, in the middle of its lifespan, they said if you don't have a PSN account, you can't play this $40 game that you paid your hard-earned money for. Then, of course, they faced the Game of Rage and walked back on that and even made a meme out of the review bombs that they got on Steam, making a whole cape out of it in the game, you know, just using gamers' tears as puddles to play in. And then a bunch of their later release PC ports of the games like God of War Ragnarok also had this requirement of, you know, PlayStation Network. Now, the reason that this is significant is because there's a lot of countries that don't support PlayStation Network, over 100 to be specific, and those gamers have no freaking like access to this game at all unless, you know, you gotta sail the high seas. And not even that, just forcing a PlayStation account on PC players just isn't a good thing that puts, you know, a good taste in anyone's mouth, because more than likely, if you're playing this game on PC, you don't own a PlayStation, or you don't really want to own a PlayStation. Like, you don't even want anything to do with, you know, Sony. You just want to play the games. So Sony forcing you to, you know, become one of their ecosystems so that they can, you know, showcase all the PlayStation Network numbers that they have in all of their investor meetings where they show like what games are working, what games are not. That is just really egregious and really dumb. And again, I've showed you guys this many times in the past, but if you're wondering which countries don't have PSN and don't have access to any of these games that are locked behind a PlayStation Network account on PC, that was like 6 scrolls. Moving on, I don't know if any of you guys even care about anything Ubisoft related, but I'm going to talk about this anyway because I just, as a wizard, I have so much knowledge stored in my brain that I need to expel some of it just to release some of the stress that I have knowing this shit. In casual Ubisoft fashion, Assassin's Creed Shadows has faced its 3rd delay. The game was originally supposed to come out in November of last year, then it got delayed to February, and now in the last couple of days, they have said that in this, you know, lengthy letter, which I'm not going to read or even paraphrase, it's going to be delayed to March 20th. Obviously, you can guess why. You know, Ubisoft as a company right now is tanking. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding this game, which is really dumb, to be honest with you, but obviously they want to take more time to refine the game, make sure it's a decent experience, I guess. But Ubisoft is just not having a good 2025 at all so far. Like, apparently they're getting ready to sell. Like, all their investors are panicking right now because their whole value is tanking. Obviously, you see they're delaying, you know, their big games right now. They're only focusing on their main franchises that work for them, like Assassin's Creed, because, you know, games like Skull and Bones, what was the last one, Star Wars Outlaws, all those did not meet sale expectations at all. So it is a very real and likely possibility that by the end of this year, we're going to see Ubisoft being sold to another conglomerate like Tencent, or maybe even at worst case scenario, just straight shut down. But I'm pretty sure they would sell it before, you know, the whole thing just goes bottom up. But yeah, they're banking a lot on this Assassin's Creed Shadows title because, you know, like we've already established for the past like year, every AAA release that they have has performed well, so they really need a hit to, you know, recoup themselves and get their footing back in the game. Like, I just read this whole article on their new control mapping and parkour system that they have for Assassin's Creed Shadows, which seems okay. Like, there's nothing about this article that makes me want to play this game so bad. I'm just interested to see if this is going to be like a decent title. Like, I'm interested in the 2 protagonists for the Assassin's Creed Shadows story, but as far as Ubisoft as a company, man, I've checked out a long time ago. And lastly for today, I just wanted to, you know, gush about a game that I actually am excited for, just because I love the Yakuza series. I love the work that 𝐂𝐋𝐈𝐄𝐄 they do. Like, they make some really just fun games, like games where you don't, obviously they make really good story titles, but just really fun as just beat 'em up games that you can always just come back and play. And that is a new spin-off Yakuza title of Yakuza Like a Dragon, and they held a direct showcase yesterday to which they showed off a bunch of new mechanics, a whole 15 minutes of Majima here just kicking ass. It's as amazing. Yeah, that really is all they showed in this direct showcase here. Like, they showed off all the new combat styles, like right you see here Mad Dog using the blades as like your main weapon when you go into the sea and have your freaking Captain Sparrow cosplay going on here. You get the sea dog combat style. Like I said, Yakuza games, while they can have really intriguing stories, like especially like the mainline titles, most of the time the best parts of the games is just the over-the-top wacky combat that you can do when just piecing together combos like you see here. And they really take it a step further with Pirate Like a Dragon. Like the original games, while they are obviously over the top and just, you know, you could take a freaking bench and just whack it over somebody's head on some WWE type shit, this game obviously looks more over the top, looks more anime fight-ish. Like you see here, he has like shadow clones. I think that's a really just fun thing to have. I've seen people complain about how it's a little less realistic, but again, this is a spin-off title and it's Majima. Like the character himself is just crazy and unpredictable, and we've seen him do over the top things before, so this isn't like crazy. But yeah, I am excited for this game. They also announced that they aren't going to be charging this time for a new game plus, which was a really dumb move on their part in the last games, but apparently it's going to be an update later on after the game comes out to which you can get a new game plus. But they also show off the deluxe collector's edition and stuff, but I don't understand why they make the deluxe collector's edition release the same day that the game comes out. Like, what if I don't like this game, but I like the franchise, but they disappoint me with this game and then I buy the deluxe? You know, what they, I don't understand that. I never understood why they just don't delay that release. The game is at $60, which I don't know if is a worthy price point, because if you play the Yakuza title, it's probably going to be a similar experience to that, but you know, I'll probably still pay day one just because, you know, there aren't too many February releases coming out anyway, so I think I'll still pick this title up when it comes out. And that's all I got for today, man. If you enjoyed, leave a like a video, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.